Alright, here we go. Hello everyone, and welcome to the first game in the Continental War Tournament. I'm joined here with Nilly AoE, and this is a tournament hosted by Forever and Mundo AoE with a big, generous donation from that guy. This is a $500 tournament featuring 8 different clan civilizations. Today we'll be watching Gaucho versus NC, and nice little gimmick, trick, whatever you like to call it about this tournament. Each particular clan civilization, each particular clan is assigned a particular civ pool, with the lowest seed of the tournament choosing their civ pools first. Once again, we have Gaucho and NC here, and without further ado, this is Nilly AoE, one of my good friends.
Hello! So, we already had 2 restarts before this game for everyone who just tuned in for the YouTube VODs, because they didn't like their positioning. So, let's take a look at this one. It feels like NC might have the better spot. They have Pedro, the Ethiopian flank, then their 2 strongest players, Enderine and LB10 in the pocket positions, and Philip with the Portuguese in the flank.
And for the Gaucho team, we have Mate playing as the flank. Pocket, we have Black playing as the Burmese in the pocket. Pocket, Nikov playing as Malay. And flank, Vietnamese, Fiage.
Yeah. So, a bit better than for Gaucho, and I think perfect positioning here for NC. Lovely stuff. It is seed number 8 against seed number 1, so it will be pretty brutal, but better civilizations for NC. Let's take a look. Pedro already taking a fight there against the scout of Fiage, but is scaring him away now.
Fiage, known as probably one of the more original lamers, might have been laming before MBL, but with these civilizations, it really plays itself well to them. We have the Burmese with the relic bonus, the Vietnamese with the town center scouting bonus, and then the Portuguese, of course, with the line of sight bonus. So everything in this matchup pointing towards tons of laming going on.
Yeah, Portuguese. I really, really love Portuguese. I always say it and people, oh, they're so weak, but I feel I wouldn't be surprised if like in 2 years people will say, why did we not realize how good the Portuguese are? The team bonus, simply having cartography from Dark Age feels so strong.
Oh, it's a beautiful bonus. It's some particular games even start the game where you can see off your allies' line of sight. So if you ever have someone that transfers over from another RTS, it could be certainly they're always looking for that bonus. So I always love that bonus. It's very, very strong. As well, I'd like to give a little bit of love to the Vietnamese. I think in the most recent balance they have been buffed, quite a bit. I think they're a little bit underrated, and certainly it could be very strong having a little bit of that extra line of sight on the opponent's town centers as well. And the Rattan Archer is very underrated in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, Rattan could be really good against anything that the Ethiopian could be throwing at you. So that could be really nice. And Vietnamese, they are kind of a one-trick pony, but if you are flank and want to go crossbows anyways, you don't mind that.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, of course. I think the X factor though, as far as civilizations for this game, are going to be the Italians. The Italians are the pocket position for the NC team. What I really like about the Italians in this matchup is that all of these Indochina civilizations for the Gaucho team, they all have access to elephants, and for that reason I think they're pretty strong late game. But the Italians, of course, have access to the Genoese crossbowmen, which can be very, very useful in that situation. So I'm hoping that the Italians will have a good Night Rush and Castle Age, a good boom going, and hopefully can mass up some of those crossbowmen to counter one of the strengths, in my opinion, of the Gaucho civilizations with the elephants.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I really want to see LB10 going for a lot of knights, maybe add in some camels and buy Enderine time to get on those Genoese crossbowmen. It's just so important to mess those up. Yeah, you still have a mobility problem, but you chew those elephants away, especially the ones of his direct opponent.
So it looks like the pocket for the Gaucho team, Black, playing as Burmese, he's gone up to the feudal age very quickly on 20 population only. He's going to be the first in the next age, so it looks like we're going to see scouts from him. And scouts as well from Nikov.
Scouts from Nikov. Yeah, looks like everyone is up except Philip, who, well, even gets lamed at home. This is kind of weird that Black is laming him, deleting some of his trees there. Kind of ugly because all the big tournaments nowadays forbid those laming rules. NAC, ECL, KOTD2, you name it, all think that this is part of the game that shouldn't really be used, but well, different rules here and they are trying to lame.
Good on Mate for knowing the rules. I'm sure he got a little bit of advice from FEH to probably do that, as FEH again is one of the master lamers in this game. But yeah, good on them at least for knowing the rules.
Philip is playing a horrible game here.
Yeah, well, when you're playing a horrible game, you start to wall up a little bit. Yeah, not up to the next age at all.
600 wood.
And he
has to sling here.
Yeah, he's the flank as well. Yeah, maybe he's sling, you think?
He will just die. And he will face double archer range, instant aggression, and scouts. I think he will just die.
It's not looking so good. Yeah. He's got to get that wall up before those archers can come out. The archers could come out even before then. He's going to gold right away, so either fast castle or a sling.
Boy, this looks so bad. Oh, nobody 41. I think this might be like a 24-minute game.
Well, we'll have to see. It might be a little unfortunate if that happens, but you never know.
Meanwhile, LB10 and End Arena team walling themselves. Love that. But that means that even more people might stop by at Philip. And trust me on that, he's not a guy who keeps calm in TeamSpeak if things aren't going too well for them.
You're hearing it from nearly AoE. First from him. But a lot of players going more standard, like archer ranges on the flank, scouts from the pocket. Philip finally going up to the next age. Double walling with palisades. It's such an ugly wall. It's such a large wall. And
even adding a barracks, that's interesting. That's something we don't see too often from Khmer. I think fletching before the barracks would have been better.
Oh, that is a little odd. Well, he's got to defend from these scouts somehow. I would assume some quick walling. One villager going to go down for mate to these scouts of LB10. I would go with some quick walling and maybe some gates.
No, he's Khmer. He just should have a house behind.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course, that kind of that really helps out in that situation.
LB10 doing some aggression. Let's take a look. Walls going down. First layer here, and Philip. Well, he is only at 70% up here. So maybe defensive tower might be coming at some point, but still, he's under heavy pressure.
It looks like he's going for a fast castle. He's got so many farms up. He's got enough gold. This is just way too much pressure. There's so many archers here. This wall is only one layer thick at some points. In fact, I think it's still open at the back, although it should be closed by the time those archers walk around. Hopefully, mate can just, waste some time here. And hopefully that'll be enough to bail out Philip.
Let's take a look. They are completely walled, but it's only one layer of kind of paper walls here. So I don't really see them holding this for too long, especially now. Their LB10. He doesn't have a lot of army to defend at home.
Yeah, well, LB10 went for a few of those scouts. They're in the middle of the map. They're actually moving out right now. So yeah, those archers should be able to get through that wall. Luckily, it's second layer of wall coming up. Behind that, those scouts should be able to see that, though. And it looks like they're going to try to get through that wall anyway. And we'll see what kind of damage they can do once they get in. That wall is going down extremely fast.
Well, and those palisade, I think this is a spot where you really don't want to wall with palisade gates. You want to build stone gates. You want to get yourself some more time. Because now he is in, yeah, he blocked again. But that's just another, like, 200 HP now.
Yeah, the gates certainly take a long time to build, and yeah, why not stone gates? That's a really great point. Not gonna wall with a market, but that other palisade gate's going down so fast, those villagers gonna be dead. Another market coming up. No, it's too late. Oh no!
Oh, and some
run away!
Pause after that, and yeah, 1844, obviously not the most competitive castle age time either. And now the archers are in, the scouts are moving in, and well, LB10 is on the other side of the map. Yeah, he can do some damage against red, but it's not looking great for Philip.
Yeah, not at all. He has no military out right now. He's gonna go up the tower. The tower is late though, and we need to see a spearman coming out right away. No, not coming. And this is here we go. It's just disaster time for Philip now. Just absolute disaster.
He only has one single archer to defend himself, and well, LB10, as we said, on the complete other side. Fletching now coming in for our player in the red, and well, I said 24-minute game. It might be shorter.
Yeah, I think so. At least Andoran's doing some good damage onto Black. Black is currently the score leader. Gonna get one villager, maybe two. Yeah, just one villager only, but gonna idle some farms as well, and LB10's here as well.
But what can they do? It's a lot of walls, 2 spearmen out. Yeah, they can block the food eco a bit. But, well, maybe Pedro can sneak around and get the gold of Nikov. He is on the way to that, but, well, double stable, elephant production should start, and then a handful of archers won't really kill too much.
No, not at all. The Malay Castle Age elephant's so strong because they're, of course, almost, I think, just about as expensive as knights. Little different resources. But yeah, the Malay can certainly be very strong in civilization. Want to get husbandry nice and early. And I think just try to do as much damage to these other pocket players as possible.
Let's take a look. No defensive TC from Nikov just yet. Well, he's building one at the wood line, but gold as exposed as possible, and he might lose all of them because Anarine is coming over as well.
Oh man. Yeah, he could lose all of them. That elephant has no armor on it quite yet, so it can't possibly go down. And I would just go for the villagers. Nice quick reaction from Nikov. Just going to run away with his villagers. Probably lose maybe a few, but it could have been a lot worse.
Well, he might get out with like 2 or 3 of them, so that's better than I expected. Yeah, 3 will make it home, so that's kind of okay, but now no golden come for him.
So far, the NC team doing a lot of damage, I think, to the pockets, at least comparably, but it's really not comparable to how much damage has been done onto Philip. You know, his base looks worse and worse just over time. There's so many idols under his town center now. Does he have a single working villager?
It doesn't really look like it. Maybe on berries somewhere, some in the north. No, not really. He sent some, but we saw earlier when he wants to go for stragglers, they're getting lamed. Now he's trying to move in against archers that have +1/+1. That's not how it works.
I've never seen a Titanic this big in a team game, to be quite honest. Maybe once. But this big, this early.
And Philip, so it's not the first time that I see stuff like this.
Okay, luckily a few knights from LB10 here to bail him out. Hopefully they can clean up the crossbows, and then Philip can have a working economy again. What would you do if you're Philip? Just sling at this point?
Yeah, well, sling is just late. I think he did a mistake. Either he is safe, or he needs to go for archers and try to defend. But this like fast castle with only 1 layer of palisade walls, not a tower in time, that didn't really work out.
Didn't really work out is a little bit of an understatement. That was the worst play I've ever seen.
So bad. Okay, well then you're not casting a lot of NC games.
I'm really not, sorry.
Nikov is scaring away most of the army of Pedro. Did build some extra TCs now at the front. Villager count overall, well, we have the Gauchos in the 40s, Black around 30, on the other side around 40s, Pedro and 30, and Philip with a strong 24.
At the same time, look at the scores though. Look at the scores. They're so close.
Yeah, and she's actually leading, and I don't really know why and how.
Well, that was a lot of kills to clean up there. I think, obviously, Gaucho's going to take back the next place as VH kills, 4 knights from Andarin as he's moving out across the map. But I'm pretty sure that NC has done a lot more damage to the pockets than, than the other teams. Hopefully make up for that, Philip Titanic.
Big problem, though, is VH already up to Castle Age, and that's a big flock of soon-to-be crots with 42 HP here. And he will do quite a bit, because Pedro, well, he just picked up only.
Yeah, earlier on, it was a big waste of knights from Andrin, losing 4 knights. That's certainly not going to help. I'd like to see a siege workshop from Pedro as soon as he gets to the next age. Needs to hold for now. Yet another palisade gate coming up. Looks like that one will be up by the time the archers move around. Pedro investing heavily into Ethiopian crossbows, so we have a little bit of an archer battle on the left side. And I want to draw some attention over back to Black space, as there's a lot of knights coming in.
Let's take a look. +1 attack here for LB10, goes for +2 defense as well. Black on the other side, only sitting at +1 defense, has 3 TCs up though, very clumped up. I don't think he will take too much damage.
I don't think Black made any military units. I don't see really any gray moving out across the map. There's a few knights in his base, so he definitely went with a quick boom as opposed to doing the damage.
Yeah, well, he got the early scouts in there and is now trying to boom up a bit, but I think the main story is really at the left-hand side at the front door of Pedro.
Yeah, those elephants certainly look very good in the situation where their mobility is not really a factor and you're just pushing in straight through the front. They're so strong in this situation. Wow.
Now some snipes. Do we even have ballistics here from VH? Well, he has a university, so that's pretty likely. And Pedro, well, he's in some trouble. Tries to get a TC up, but that might be some dead villagers. I don't really think the monastery will help either.
Yeah, this might be the nail in the coffin for the NC team. They've already taken a huge loss on the top side. They're going to lose so many villagers. It's going to be a down TC, but it should get up. Okay, and Android's going to move in. This is a pretty good time to move in. Maybe that town center can do quite a bit of damage to those crossbows.
Uh-oh, but, well, just to say how bad the situation is, Pedro has now less villagers than Philip.
Oh, man. That's unfortunate. What do you do with the crossbows in this situation? Do you attack the palisade? Probably not.
He's trying to get out. I think just trying to go a bit more to the north, try to hit and run and do something is a better option. But I just feel, how many elephants did we see from Nikov? Like 6 or something? His boom should be pretty sick at the same time, and well, he's already thinking about imping up here.
Yeah, so I think the KD ratio might be in NC's favor. They've cleaned up a lot of army in the south. They've cleaned up a lot of army in the north, but obviously the economies for Gaucho, whether it's through killing villagers of Philip and Pedro or through getting an early boom, should be much stronger going into the next stage of the game.
Villager count is just so sick there. 81. Actually, it's quite okay for NC. I thought the pockets were further behind. And, well, will just be the story of Nikov and how well Enderin can fight him off. For now, Enderin, he's the guy who loves to add some stables. He's up to 4 and tries to do some damage against the pocket just shortly before they hit him. This could be a nice timing here against Nikov.
Absolutely, they have a good. I think they have a good military advantage at this stage, and they hopefully have to use it. Certainly, the Malians could be a very good early imp civilization, and hopefully they'll be able to make use out of that bonus. The Malay will be a little bit slower if they're able to click up, but you know, as far as their elephants moving out across the map, so I think now is a great time to be able to try to do some damage.
Yeah. I love that, and well, we did see some additions from Nikov now. Left-hand side Pedro needs to run against VH. Some elephants were at it trying to defend, but obviously they're pretty slow.
If I have any questions about any of these players right now, it's my questions are for Black. Where's Black's army? He's not able to support Mate at all. Mate is going to get heavily raided at this particular moment.
Well, we will see. I'm surprised as well what Black is doing. And you asked earlier how much I know Black. He's actually close to 2.2k on Arabia 1v1 and plays for random with me as well. So I think he should be pretty strong. Maybe he got some raids in that we didn't see earlier. And LB10, he is doing a lot of pressure against the flank of him.
Yeah, luckily it looks like that pikeman transition came in at just the right time. So hopefully we'll be able to get his town centers back working. Mate needs a lot more military production to be able to defend in the long haul, in my opinion, or Black has to step up his production. He's getting iron casting right now, so hopefully thinking about adding more knights, and maybe just because, I don't know how many team games Black has played, but just because you're 2k2 on Arabia and 1 versus 1 doesn't necessarily mean you know how much army you're supposed to be making at different stages of a team game.
Yeah, you can ask Spring about that as well.
It's getting better, huh?
Okay, VH now on the way to Imperial Age. Pedro has to be miles away from that. Yeah, 60 food, has like 8 farms working for himself, some idols as well, very little military. We see mass stables from the 2 pockets here of NC. RB10 now on the way to Imp. They need to do more damage. They really need to keep Nikov very small.
Yeah, I'm just so worried about Nikov with his Imperial Age and those elephants. It's going to be so strong, and as well the Imperial Age from VH with those archers. I would love if somehow the NC team could somehow clean up those archers, because you don't want to see them upgrade it into Arbalest, but that would take such a huge stroke of luck.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. In the meanwhile, LB10 with some knights raids against Black, and if we take a little villager count, it's pretty impressive how the 2 NC pockets are playing here. They're playing completely out of their mind. Really getting the rate in. Look at all the teal dots in gray space. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think some of this goes to that team welt from earlier on in the game. Certainly, it took them some time when they were going with scouts and archers in the feudal age to get through those walls and completely destroy Philip, but at least they weren't able to go over to LB10's base because I guess, maybe those palisades scared them off. So I think the power of the team wall is pretty apparent here in the play of the pockets.
Yeah. But as we said several times, the transition into Genoese has to become an Enderine. He's actually adding stables. Has enough stone for a castle. I'm a bit surprised that he isn't building it because now the first attack of Nikov is coming in his face and he has nothing to defend there.
Yeah, I think that Andurin should just continue to go full Cavalier. The transition takes a long time to make for the Genoese crossbowmen because they make so slowly, but it's something that certainly should happen later in the game. And it looks like VH is getting ready for a big push with Rams.
Yeah, and Pedro, well, he doesn't have a lot of defense there. I think he will be completely destroyed off this map. It's going for Mangonel now, but, well, a Mangonel hit won't even kill an Arbalest now from the Vietnamese anymore, and Rams are pushing. I think Pedro, he might be more dead pretty soon than Philip was earlier.
Yeah, I think Philip is doing fine now against Mate because Mate has been so far behind. I think if they want any chance at staying in this game, LB10 needs to move his Cavalier towards the south and hopefully clean up these Rams and Arbalest.
Yeah, that could be a nice switch around and still give some more breathing room to Black at the same time. Nikov isn't really getting attacked. He's doing some pressure, but, well, Andorin is fighting him off. It really needs to be a big carry from our Austrian player.
Yeah, another little bit of misplay here. Philip was attacking the villagers after they had built the castle. Typically, you'd want to run away with your crossbows once a castle is built. Just saying.
Yeah, well, Philip now finally adding some extra TCs here at the 38-minute mark when other players are already in Imperial Age. And now we see the transition here for Nikov. He is going onto those super cheap elite battle elephants of the Malay.
Yeah, that's going to be incredible, especially in the early Imperial Age. What are the weaknesses of the Malay elephants? Well, they have pretty low pierce armor, but with Pedro, stuck in the Castle Age, don't really have to worry about that. They'll be extremely strong against knights, though, with that reduced cost. That extra armor, I don't think impacts them too much in melee battles.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's really, the fight against Genoese or Arbalest or something. We now see some Genoese from Enderine, but not a single upgrade on those yet. And, well, it will take some time to mess them up, as you said earlier. Production time quite high. Perimba on the way for LB10. The two pockets are playing out of their minds, but it feels like the Pedro side is just losing too fast.
Yeah, I think this would be actually an opportune time to call maybe the good game, because obviously LB10 has not moved his knights over to the left side. He has a lot of knights on the right side. They'll be extremely strong, but I do expect, at least with these elephants that are coming out from Black now, for him to be able to defend. And, Mate's he's got a castle up, so I think these knights really just have to go to the left side and clean up these Arbalests because Pedro's dying too fast.
But Pedro will just lose so much. He doesn't really have a great boom in the back, no real wood lines, trying to run with some villagers. Might even take some extra gold spots from Enderine away here, or what that is. I'm not sure, no. Seems like a 4-tile extra gold spot, okay. Tricky situation. No one really got trade running for themselves. Villager count, as we said several times now, better for the NC pocket. Way too bad for the two flanks.
So do you think this game really was predicated on Philip's, poor start, or do you think it would have, turned out this way otherwise?
Well, yeah, if Philip can play a competitive game there, doesn't die, and then they have Crossbowman, Knight, and Castle Age, I think Mate can really die. And then they have the pressure against Black as well, and the right-hand side looks so much better. Enderine got nice raids in there as well, with a nice Pedro double. I think it still looks dicey at the left-hand side, but the right-hand side certainly could have been a big opportunity for NC to win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so far, since the game's still going slow, a little reflection, but I think so far the game has been actually pretty good considering NC has been really able to give a few blows over to Gaucho, which was of course the #1 seed, and NC being the #8 seed. So hopefully this is a good, indicator to how competitive these games should be in the later stages of the tournament with a little closer seeding.
Well, closer seeding means that the civilizations are a bit closer as well, right?
Yeah,
We
that's true,
said
yeah.
and see they probably have the better civilization. So in general, the tournament is designed to kind of allow everyone to win. You either have the skill advantage or the TIF advantage.
Oh, which one would you rather have, the better players or the better civilizations?
It's tricky, right? I love some underdog stories, so having the worst civilization and then come back against stronger players kind of is sweet, but it kind of feels shady as well because you knew you only won because of your quote-unquote better seeding.
Yeah, I think we certainly see some weaknesses, at least in the Gaucho team, especially I think in Black's play, as there's Cavalier all over his base. He doesn't really know what unit he wants to make. He's making a Rembi now. He's making some battle elephants. So Nikov's going to actually have to bail out his pocket.
Yeah, true. And look at that stream of LB10. Really impressed how well he's playing. 52 army now, streaming all over the map. Henry, well, he cleaned up the left-hand side. Do we see a nice mangonel hit? Not really. So Pedro, pop 60, Philip, pop 70, all the other players above 120.
Yeah, Pedro's going to take a long time to get back in this game if this game is still going to be going by that point. But LB10 doing his best to really keep things competitive. These elephants are so damn slow, they can't catch up to the Cavalier, which is pretty hilarious in my opinion. Something to think about when you go elephants. But Nikov, that's why he's stonewalling everything, to hopefully prevent the raids, and after that should be able to move out.
Yeah, I love that as well. Builds a defensive castle. Maybe we see him switch into Karambit. He's trying to clear up the base of Black as well. Score actually somewhat reasonably even still. I've only Philip had close to see a bit earlier, and then he could be up to him. Maybe take over Mate as well. At the moment, yeah, they killed VH. He will be back.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, his army is so cheap, and it's already got all the upgrades you need. Kind of wondering what VH will do with all these extra resources now. Maybe make 100 Arbalest. But, yeah, I mean, Cavalier going to go for one more raid with LB10. Going to try to do as much as they can. But at least it's impressive. LB10's KD ratio is almost 2 to 1 now.
And look at the upgrades for LB10. Didn't you research for Rimba earlier?
Yeah, I did see that earlier. I don't know why it's not on there.
That's
Maybe
so
Castle.
weird.
No, I don't know. It's interesting. That's a big upgrade.
Oh. Yeah.
It's definitely a big upgrade.
I'm confused by that, but... Well, okay. New wave of raids coming into the base of Nikov. Cavaliers are squeezing through the diagonal gate here. And, well, the next stage is really where Anduin should go for mass enemies crossbowmen, which, well, trade okay-ish against Vietnamese if he goes on to Rattan or Arbalest.
Yeah, I mean, the next stage of the game is kind of there for VH if he wants to transition to Rattans. That would be a great matchup against the Genoese crossbowmen and a great counter to them. I wish VH would add a little bit more siege, as that would certainly speed up this process of destroying his opponents, but he hasn't done that quite yet.
And some people were thinking, okay, Pedro and Philip, how well are they doing? Well, maybe they're slinging, but no, they are not. It's actually LB10 and Enduin giving resources to their teammates here. So, yeah, it really is them not transitioning into the Great Eagle too quickly. And now, Mate, he is back with a big push there and no way to stop that Philip's position.
Well, Philip is going to try to go for the for the other Italian unique unit, the Condottiero. But that shouldn't be too effective against Arbalest unless they get cleaned up by the Cavalier, which they won't because there's some halves there.
Well, Halberdiers only have, well, not a single upgrade on them, so take a look. Will be a clear up for LB10, I believe, but the castle is going up and, well, elephants are coming over. It just seems like too many spots where LB10 needs another 30-40 Cavaliers, and it really hurts that he doesn't have Farimba, man.
Yeah, it also hurts that he doesn't have Paladin, so this is not a army composition that's going to bode well for the next 5 to 10 minutes once players start getting out, their super strong late game armies.
Okay, I didn't see Army of Nika for quite some time. Where is he? He should have like endless amount of elephants somewhere, right?
Well, he's been
He should
defending
be
his own
chilling.
base, and Black Space from the Cavalier raids really hasn't been able to move out until his walls have been up. Farimba is coming in once again for LB10, so he has noticed it. And yeah, that's kind of the story. Is Nikov really hasn't moved out quite yet. We expect him to be a beast in this game, but we haven't quite seen him. Really, the only player doing a lot of damage at this moment is VH.
Yeah, and well, he has a pretty nice spot there. Arbalest, traps, just pushing into a guy who doesn't really have good answers. Maybe you could sling Peter on some skirms and go raid if you're Enderine, but that's not a great idea either, especially because Peter was still only sitting at 50 villagers. Enderine now trying to defend with bomber towers, but well, I think it's a bit too late.
Yeah, of course, it's a little too late. It's, well, never too late to stall in a game, and that's certainly a little bit of what we're seeing. Hoping that LB10 will get one monster raid on maybe one of these opponents and claw the game back. And how often do you see comebacks in positions like these? Does it happen?
Well, only if one civilization has the one team has the better civilization, but I cannot really say that the NC civs are so much better in late imp. If we had like a Italian player with 60 January's crossrun and he could stomp all the elephants down, then I could see something, but here it just gets too tricky. I think VH will not be stopped here.
Yeah, so I guess it's hard for the players to, analyze all their civilizations and how they do late game, which, can sometimes kind of hoping that your civilization might take over, but you kind of just have to see it in the game as opposed to analyze it because there's too much to analyze.
Tricky situation. Let's take a look. Mangonel not getting the shot in as well. So many trade cuts going down. Endery not really having the army here in the top. And it just feels Nikov and VH might be closing out the game here at the top.
Yeah, just this is the first time that Nikov's elephants have actually made it to their side of the base. However, they are in the trade line, and all they have to do is really maintain this position, which it looks like they should. Android trying to upgrade his skirms, but of course the elephants are there, so that's not the greatest thing in the world. Nice trade from LB10 though. That's a slight positive there.
He's so active in this game. How many kills does he have? 330,
yeah.
That's more than his whole team combined.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Malian's a pretty strong pocket.
Yeah, that's so true. And oh boy, would I have loved to see a game with two non-failing flanks here.
This was still a pretty good game. I mean, at certain points, NC looked like they really had it with the rating. There were some mistakes made by Black and perhaps Nikov as well in the early game. VH definitely took it over in the late game. But, we saw some weaknesses. We saw some blows going back and forth. But in the end, the Gaucho team did take this expected victory.
Yeah, and I have really high hopes for the home map of NC now. They, I think, will be well prepared. They will come up with a strategy. They will come up with a map that Gaucho potentially never has seen or played. So I think this will go into game number 3 after seeing how well they performed still in game number 1.
I think there's a very good possibility of that happening. Again, we did see the weaknesses. We did see some blows back and forth. So this will be the home map of NC. NC, a team that is has some... I'm sure they put a lot of thought into this matchup, and they have some good chemistry between them, so they know, what kind of maps that they would all like to go for. It looks like they're going to go for the map Tsunami. Are you familiar with this map?
Yes, I am. And well, before I started my show, I went through all the maps and said Tsunami is the worst map they could pick because it's so campy, so strategic, and it basically is islands with hills. So you kind of camp a lot with galleys, and it is a horrible map, absolutely non-competitive, but a very good shot for NC. I think Gaucho will have zero idea how to play this.
I think, yeah, now that you describe the map, I'm 100% sure I know exactly which map this is. It's the weird one with hills on the water. Yeah, that's got to be a little bit unexpected. Certainly for the Gaucho team. If you know how to play the map, then great. But, just because a map is uncompetitive doesn't mean it can't be fun. At least it could be fun for the first few times. I remember last week casting the Realms tournament, which is horribly unbalanced, but was a lot of fun just because I think players don't know which civilization is unbalanced in which way, so it could be fun from that perspective to kind of figure things out. That's my opinion, anyway.
That's so true. Okay, I'm away for 2 minutes and then I will be back. Nobody.
Okay. All right, so it's just you and me, Voobly Official Channel. Thanks everyone for joining me. This has been Nilly on the other line. I'm sure you already know that. He's one of the most popular casters in our community for good reason, and a really great guy, as you guys know. And my name is Nobody. And the second game should be Tsunami. Be coming up fairly shortly. We're going to take a quick water and bathroom break, and we'll be back in 1 minute. And I'm back. All right, so we're just waiting for them to start the game, and we'll be on to the game 2. Again, expecting this to be a pretty close matchup. All right, so we've got 30 seconds until the next... Oh, sorry.
To the next what?
To the next game. I forgot I was on push to talk and I was pressing my control button, but whatever. Sorry.
Okay, so Tsunami. I think how you play this is, since it's so tough to break you on your hills, you kind of want to play this defensively and get onto castle age pretty quickly. But then you need to go aggressively because you need to get the extra resources in the center of the map. But let's take a look at the map for everyone who doesn't know it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second game of the Continental Wars 2 tournament. First game did go to Gaucho, but it had some up and downs in the game. So this is the home map of NC, and we'll see what kind of tricks they can pull. Tsunami, it's a very weird map. Should be a lot of fun, though. And I'm joined here with Nilly, of course.
Yeah, and I'm interested how they will play this out. They are playing with the same civilizations, obviously. Portuguese, extremely good. Italians, very strong. And on the other side, Malay, they can make something happen, but also being pocket doesn't really help out there. So it feels NC with a strong set of civilizations for this map.
Oh, definitely the stronger water civilizations. I think certainly the Portuguese are underrated on water. Italians, we know how good they are. Malians get a wood bonus. Some of these civilizations, I'm sure, don't get all of the dock technologies. I know for sure that the Malians are at least missing. Maybe they're missing fast fire and heavy demo. I can't remember, but they're missing something. So that might come in later on in the game.
Bracer.
Oh yeah, then Bracer. I just realized that I've only seen this map with Age of Conquerors and Galley Wars. Do you know how things? I remember a conversation last week about whether fire ships get a hill bonus, or do you know what would be stronger with the hills?
Apparently, fire ships don't get hill bonuses. So that's kind of surprising to me from how the game is designed, but apparently that's how it is. And galleys, I think, with the long distances should be very strong.
Okay, but they do take less damage going up hills, I assume.
Yeah. Probably if the galley shoots them, for sure. Yes, they have to take more damage.
And to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of, pure water maps on the New Balance. I've seen a lot of mixed water maps, but pure water maps with random civilizations, I haven't seen too much of that.
Yeah. People thought about adding some more water maps. People cried out.
No, thank you.
I even thought about adding islands into NAC2, but water only feels very one-dimensional as well.
It's okay for variety, but I think that certainly the strength of Age of Empires has always been designed around land play, and I think that I don't have to explain that any further.
Well, I love mixed maps. So Pedro's playing docking defensively, Philip offensively. Take a look. LB10 very defensive dock there, and Enderine an aggressive dock. That's kind of weird. LB10 having a dock over there. That's a pretty bad one if you ask me.
Yeah, there's one fish there, and yeah, you'd want to go towards where the larger waters would be, of course. They, of course, get their line of sight bonuses too, which would be pretty interesting on this kind of map. Normally, galley battles are kind of like a shot in the dark. You hope your galleys run into your opponent's galleys or find their docks or whatever, but certainly the line of sight bonuses should make this a little interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. Also, Blackstock there, kind of in the north alone, while everyone, Nikov is building his dock aggressively. BH and Mate are building it defensively. I'm not sure if all of them have a clear team plan here.
If I was part of the team, and I don't like water maps as much as I should have, I would have definitely focused on the land maps and hope things go for the best on the water maps.
Well, yeah, I'm curious. I also want to see if we get into the scenario that NC is winning this one, what their home map will be, because we still have a lot of interesting maps. You cannot pick Arabia again.
Yeah, there are tons of interesting maps, and I'm glad to see that as this tournament will be going later and later, we'll be seeing different maps, because there are so many to choose from, and a lot of them I have not seen it before either.
Yeah, I think maybe Hills could be a good pick for Gauchos, but let's focus on this game first. With Enderine with the solid start, 929 there. Philip is following him, Black is following. I think Nikov might be clicking up pretty soon as well. Well, actually, that looks like a fast castle build-up from Nikov. Look at that. That's still a lot of villagers on wood. 2 docks. Nikov will play fast castle.
Well, I hope he gets his build right because, of course, I think players are figuring out the melee better, but there are chances for a big screw-up, of course, if you go up too early. So I think that hopefully Nikov will take his time.
I think he might. He's still having a lot of villagers on wood. This might be like pop 36 or something? Pop 38 uptime? I'm really curious, and now I can somewhat understand. Oh, Black! Look at him.
Yeah, Black going for the early transport. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy we see this. Oh, this is so great. Yeah, he's playing against a pretty good early game civilization. He's going against the Italians, which, of course, the Italians could go water. They're your strongest water civilization out of this group. So this could be very unexpected, certainly for Andrew. And I would, if you're a flank, maybe put a few outposts out across the map. But certainly we didn't see that. And here we go. Black going to place down his barracks.
Oh, and that's so ugly against the Italian player. And Enderine, let's take a look. He's sending a villager out there.
How did he see this?
Is he spotting something? Did he see the scout? He saw the scout. I think the scout was running in the vision of the TC. And he sees the landing now.
Is it
Good
too late though?
start for Enderine to defend. Well, it's only a barracks for now, right? And he pushes the landing away. Good stuff.
Well, is he gonna go back after that, or? Yeah. So is that it? Is that? Do you think that's enough to shut down the forward? This is a good play from Black going back, or he's gonna land somewhere else?
I think I would have finished in archer range. It's impossible to be completely stopped. And now, well, this is getting scary. Another landing, transporter going down most likely, and Enderine, he's already there with the villager. Might block this all off, and, well, I think Enderine will be fine.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that's right next to the water. I mean, all Enderine has to do is build a few galleys, and that would be it. I think Black needs to build a transport ship ASAP if he wants to be able to run away with these villagers.
Look at the other side, VH, he's trashing Pedro, and that's in both of his stone spots, so Pedro cannot play defensive towers there. Might want to land away, losing some villagers against the scout there even. So we have double aggression from the flanks, and very defensive players from the two pockets who will both play fast castle. So it was a team strategy after all from Gaucho, I just didn't see it.
This is a lot more. We talked so much about the hills earlier on in the game, but really we're just seeing a lot of forwards in the early game, which certainly is very interesting. This is a game that I pretty much like. I like so far.
It's so annoying to play against if you're Pedro or Enderine here for sure. Now builds a galley, might stop this, even builds a demo to get some of the villagers. Let's take a look. If he can he not reach that villager?
I think he can. Yeah. Oh, it's down.
Okay.
It's a great play from Andrew in making sure the villager builds most of the archer range and then kills that at the very end.
Oh, we hear the where did the demo go? I have no idea. Blackie is actually coming over with another transporter, but instantly dying there. It feels like Enderine defended. Fiat at the same time, he advances quite nicely against Pedro, who doesn't see the tower. Look at Pedro's point of view. He does not see the tower.
Super unfortunate for him. Oh, I think he just saw it right now, but the tower's already up. He's gonna go for the... Might be able to take out the tower though, just barely seeing it last second, right as VH was getting up with the walls. Nice quick reaction from Pedro, but little gate coming in. Might lose a few villagers here.
Wouldn't be too important, the gate though. And I hate that Pedro didn't do town watch very early on. Such an important upgrade against tower rushes.
Yeah, it's a good upgrade if you're tower rushing as well. Very underrated upgrade in the early game. You kind of have to know when you need town watch and when you shouldn't have it. But,
okay,
go ahead.
Yeah. Let's take a look at what the other players are doing. Fishing ship count 11 and 13 for the Gaucho pockets. On the other side, we have 9, 4, 4, 4, 4. So, well, kind of even when it comes to the whole teams. And villager count, Black is pretty low. This looks good for NC so far. The big question is, how will they transition into Castle Age though?
It looks good for NC so far. I do really love the fish boom though from the Gaucho team. Just Mate and Nikoff have tons of deep fish going, and I noticed that LB10 and Andrin really don't. They're all on short fish or don't have a lot of fish in general. Or Philip as well.
Philip should have added a dock in the back. After they saw that the enemies were going so heavily on land, he should have added a dock in the back, added 5 fishing ship, because he should have known that the others are playing this quite defensively as well. And his eco is the worst out of all the 4 pockets.
And that really shouldn't be the case, but some players getting up their upgrades. Mate now getting into the War Galley upgrade. And hopefully be able to push back. Philip, who's kind of pushing it on the bottom.
Yeah, but he is still only feudal age, and now you have no chance. Look at that, Nikov around and Mate. Philip needs to retreat. This 10 more HP won't really help him. What is he doing? He cannot take this fight. This is so bad.
Yeah, that's... You don't want... At least what you want... With Fire Galleys, you want to make sure you don't take the... take the worst fights, and it's pretty obvious which fights should be bad since there isn't much room for micro. Nice. We have a demolition ship coming out from Mate. Hopefully we'll be able to get a good shot off.
Like, look how he connects. What is Philip doing? Just right click back to your home base. It's so much better. By the way, new landing from Black there. And Enderine, that isn't walled, man. Are you kidding me? How is he not knowing this? It's 2018.
So many things going on in this map. It's 2018.
Yeah, and he still isn't walling properly with the gates. Oh,
Oh, they're diagonal. Sometimes they have, I think, holes in them. But
yeah,
yeah,
always, unless you build the foundation first.
yeah. So yeah, huge raid from black. I noticed VH is as well counter towering, I believe, onto Philip, and should be able to
Oh
take away
yeah.
the gold of Philip.
And Philip, well, he didn't do town watch either. This is just so bad, guys. If you're watching this, if you ever see someone tower rushing of your teammates, or like see that one of your teammates is getting tower rushed, do town watch early on. You don't want to face what Philip is facing now.
I think luckily though, these archers from black should get cleaned up. They're stuck under the tower, and there's 3 skirmishers now out for Andrin, so he should be able to clean that up despite taking pretty massive damage. Scores right now 100 ahead for Gaucho, and should only get a little bit further as the game goes on, in my opinion.
Let's see. Luckily for Philip, he still has a gold in the bag, not too greatly positioned there, but well, we will see. It's still all about who plays the better pockets here. Maybe LB10 can make something happen, but what we mentioned earlier, he is not the guy who can carry the game in Imperial Age because he's still missing that precious bracer.
Yeah, well, we'll see if the game gets to that stage. Yeah, FH doing some pretty good job with his towers, and then back in the middle of the map, at least NC did have a pretty good fight there. Was going against Mate, and Mate lost a few fire galleys, although Philip will now have to move back as he's getting his upgrades.
Well, let's take a look. He is still very active. Has quite an okay KD there, 18 to 16. I expected it to be worse, but well, still okay for him. And now has the hill advantage with the war galleys. I think he should be fine defending this.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that certainly galleys will be the dominant thing that we see in this particular team game, like we predicted earlier. So far, I think the momentum of the game might be swinging a little bit into NC's favor as far as the galley numbers goes. LB10 has a lot of galleys. Philip has a lot of galleys as well. I don't necessarily like all the fire ships from Mate. Hopefully they can swing back the momentum in that way.
Yeah, he should transition. I think in the long run he has all the good upgrades when it comes to fast fire ships or something. So maybe he's transitioning into that quite early. 56 villagers for him, and he does not need the buildings. So maybe staying on fast fire ship and not going for ballistics could be a good option. And obviously taking great fights like those are really helping him out as well.
Yeah, well, I take back what I said. Nikov's now going up to the next age, so that certainly will be a huge momentum swing.
25-18. 3 TCs running for him, so much fish. He's just a beast in scenarios like those.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he should hopefully be able to do the damage. Is he going to go into fast fire ships, or would you prefer to see galleons in this scenario?
I think Gallant is clearly the better unit. Fast fire ships obviously pressure quite a lot, and T is staying on those. But I think Gallant is what I would have loved, but I think it doesn't really matter. He will clear house with any unit he builds now.
And FH really isn't on the water too much. He's very much focusing on his landing. He's upgraded a guard tower, which he loves to do, and he's gotten a siege workshop up.
Pretty sure what Pedro's mission is here as well. Now he tries to get one mangle out against those guard towers. And, well, now it all comes down. How can they stop Nikov? I don't really see any big demos. Masked up as well. LB10, yeah, he's camping some hills, but now they need to combine forces to somehow fight Nikov.
Well, at the very least, this kind of promotes the defender's advantage, this particular map. If FH is not able to do any damage, they essentially have one extra player on the water, I believe.
Yeah, but still, fast fire ships, they take 1 damage against war galleys here. And then you need quite a bit to do any reasonable damage. Oh, Pedro with a nice landing around the corner here, trying to fight off Mr. FH, who has 0 answers at the moment. Now tries to rush out a castle, but that could be pretty bad if Pedro pays a lot of attention.
Yeah, certainly. It could be a horrible, horrible decision. I really love this upgrade. I just have to point this out. I see the shipwright upgrade coming in very early from Nikov, and I just love that upgrade this early.
Pedro, he should go more aggressively. He has 3 Mangonels out. He's trying to get some kills in, not repairing in time. TC is killing 1 Mangonel, and well, Pedro, he will see that castle go up.
Yeah, and that should hopefully put a end to the aggression for Pedro. Unfortunately, going up with that town center right there, and yeah, a lot of monks for Pedro, so that they're not really going to be able to push in, especially against the guard towers and the castle of FH.
Yeah, FH defended that in time. Good job here, blocking those gold spots as well. And now we kind of get into the phase where the center gets really important. And LB10 was here first, but without any army, the buildings and the castle tier of Black and Mate will probably go up.
Yeah, I did want to mention on this map that wood is actually a huge problem for these players. There's not a lot of wood on their main islands, not to mention that it's all, hittable by galleons. So the middle is a huge part of this game, starting right about 30 minutes here.
Yeah, and you see, NC knows about that. He's coming over, and see Enderin is now landing in the center as well. But it will get tricky. Still no real answer to Nikov, who is more than 2k score ahead of the second player.
Yeah, Nikov's really taken over this game, taken over a lot of the map control in the middle, taking out some of the docks, even of Philip, poor Philip, in the series.
Well, it's so easy to look bad against Nikov as well, right?
This is true, yeah. This is 100% true.
Yeah, a lot of people criticize that Nikov is actually playing in this tournament because the tournament was designed for teams that aren't competing in ECL, and then we have a team of FedEx, FH, Nikov, Black, which all are 2.2k till 2.5k. So it doesn't really feel fair, but still, I love to see great players play as well.
I think so too. I think it gives a nice opportunity, at least if you do somehow beat this team, it really gives your clan a lot of legitimacy. Beat those names.
Yeah, well, that's true as well. And well, the greater players you have, the weaker civilizations you get in the end. We have now condos for our Malian player in the center here. Tries to do some trapping. LB10 again trying to carry his team, but we need to see someone going on water quite heavily pretty soon here from NC, but no one really on the way to him.
Yeah, I mean, which player is it going to be? Is it going to be Andorin? Is it going to be, LB10? Neither of them have really a lot of military out in the field. All of them below 15 military. Meanwhile, Nikov at 40, Mate at 30. So the two strongest players for them beating all the players individually for the NC team as far as army count goes.
Yeah. So what are the chances here for NC? Land isn't looking too great for them. Anderin's still not on the way to him. Neither is Philip. So great water control kind of out of the question. And if we take a look at military count, it looks like 70 to 30.
Well, I'll give you a small bright spot, at least for the NC team. That is, Pedro's up to the next age, and he's got a castle coming out, so he's going to come out with some trebs and start attacking VH.
Okay. Something bright on the horizon. Pedro's getting some conversions here. Got 2. Oh, got 3 even. Last fire ships here.
Yeah, so it's looking bright, at least for on that side, but of course the most important thing is in the middle of the map where most of the resources are. Shipwreck coming in from Mate, I just love to see that upgrade. And these trebs, I mean, once you lose the middle, it's really hard to get back on it.
Yeah, it's basically impossible. And for now, it looks better for NC. They have castles there. They have more traps out. Maybe transition to bombard cannons could be pretty nice. And look at that. Nikov, he's already building castle number 3. What is he going for? Is that mass karambits? Yes, it is. And there's not a lot of protection for those traps at the moment.
Yeah, certainly not. Well, it would be pretty easy to wall that if they wanted to. Obviously, they have not put in the effort to do so. Bear in mind, those are Black's walls and not LB10's walls, so they can be deleted at any point.
Oh, I'm really curious how this will play out. Maybe Pedro can still kill VH and they can control the water and then maybe sling someone to take the whole water back. That could be... Oof, I still have a dream.
I think the dream is definitely alive here. Somehow, if these trebuchets are able to be protected by maybe these condottieros, there's some monks there in the middle. So it's possible that those trebs do stay up and hopefully kick off Nikov. Nikov will run out of resources, in fact, pretty soon, as he's pretty much out of wood on his own island. And pretty good bet that VH crumbles under the pressure too.
Enderin is actually converting some half population units, something we don't see too often, trying to repair those traps. Now, beautiful team play here, and it might look like the trap is surviving, and that's all the karambits going down. Beautiful move here for NC.
Those karambits, I mean, they do so little damage to the trebs that they're hardly even a threat. That's gonna be 3 castles down from Nikov with no middle control. They do have to kick off Mate. However, that castle is certainly doing its job in keeping him close at the end of the map. And LB10 going to pack up his trebs. And maybe they do have good chances in this game. Maybe we see a little bit of a comeback here. Good strategy going for the middle nice and early from LB10.
And who's going to save VH as well? There's no defense there. The 3 traps for Peter working. There will be a lot of golden wood for them. And as I said earlier, how does it look for Nikov's resources on his starting island? Not too much. He needs control over the center.
Well, the problem is that on this particular map, the game is ending one way or another, because players will be running out of resources if they're not in the middle of the map. So VH has nowhere to go and rebuild because he's not going to have access to resources like he would on any other map. So, you know, maybe it just comes down to the strategy decision again from NC. This was... you know, a great strategy decision from them to go for the middle nice and early. There might be enough karambits in the middle for Nikov. He's certainly making a lot. We have to hope on that.
And the traps are going down because there's no more answer against the elite battle elephants now. We saw the monks going down earlier and he's converting at the wrong side. They really need to protect those. And now Nikov is switching into cannon galleons, trying to utilize their water control a bit more.
Yeah, the NC team losing their grip on the middle. Man, if they could have taken like one more fight and just held on for a little bit longer, then, you know, maybe they would have had a better shot at this. Certainly, there aren't a lot of resources coming in from the NC team from the middle, whereas from the Gaucho team from the middle, and the NC can continue to collect resources if they can hold. Hopefully, that'll swing that into their favor.
Well, we will see. It's still super interesting to me to see what they're doing in the center. Elephants, they should be countered by the monks, but monks should obviously be chewed away by the karambits, and therefore we have the Continentals countering that. It's a nice rocket, paper, scissor game here, but it feels like numbers are looking pretty good for the Gauchos at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment, but I hope they were able to keep up with their resources. That's all I can say. And get enough resources to continue with their army production.
Take a look, some conversions, good job here for Enderin. They're even sending his karambits to the front now as well. They really need to hold the center. At the moment it is Philip finally going for more water control, goes onto galleons, and they have a lot of HP and finally some more damage output. Maybe it's now Philip's time to make something happen.
Yeah, it would be his time for redemption in this particular matchup. Yeah, those galleons from Portuguese, extremely strong. Especially on top of those hills. I know Nikov is not really thinking about the water probably anymore. Starting to make cannon galleons, which are not great for holding the water, certainly very expensive. So this, you know, might be an opportunity for them. The elephants are really destroying all in the middle, though. And looks like they're able to maintain production. So that is certainly their biggest threat right now. We need to see more military production from LB10, and looks like they won't be able to hold on to it. Tusk swords coming in from the Khmer player.
Oh man, and he will have some damage output on those elephants. Now even the Ramba is around to kill all the infantry of LB10. They might be losing their starting island. In the meanwhile, VH, he's going for his 4th island. Not only a starting island, not only Pedro and Philip. No, now he's also landing the island of Black.
Yeah, well, you have to be able to find resources in some way, and certainly That is the best option for now. Kind of Fiage just needs to be annoying while hopefully they take down this castle. Castle should be going down momentarily. And I think that's going to be game as they take over the middle and take over with the resources. All in the middle.
Well, it's still 5 against 3 starting islands, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And it's at the moment only Philip on galleons, still lacking his upgrades on his boats there when it comes to defense, which are so important. But I think maybe Philip can carry this.
Well, we'll have to see how strong these Portuguese galleons are. Hopefully Philip can keep his army together, take a good fight against Nikov. He hasn't researched the cannon galleon upgrade, which I think would be very worthwhile. I mean, the middle is very exposed to cannon galleons, if we see that. There's a lot of different strategic aspects of this map. So far, I've been very impressed by this map and all the different things that it's had us think about.
Yeah, it is a nice map. I especially love the center island. I knew a tsunami version where you didn't have the center island, and then it was way worse for sure. Okay, let's take a look. Philip is now taking a fight on the water against Nikov. Should be winning this one even uphill. And now it is time for LB10 to go on water as well, or is he just going for transporters here? I have no idea where he wants to go.
I mean, I think the key is there's so many elephants on that mainland, and I don't think it's even worth contesting it, and Urimbai as well. I think the best thing would be to try to give as much as you can to go water, try to win it, and, you know, make some cannon galleons, and then make a little bit of a push for the middle.
Could be a good option for now. LB10 is only getting onto villages though, so it feels like Philip against the world on water at the moment, still lacking those defense upgrades. I really hate that he is not going for those. And Pedro, well, he needs to start another landing as well. The question is where to.
Yeah, Philip lacking actually 2 defense upgrades. He gets one for his unique tech and one for careening, which is a very cheap upgrade. There's no reason not to get that.
Absolutely, and well, now he's fighting uphill here with all his ships. And on the other side, we have LB10 still only going for transporters, not really water. What is Andrew up to? Didn't see much from him for quite some time as well. He's still in Castle Age. Did he sling?
Exactly sure. He's got a huge base back at home, though.
Yeah, he's slung Philip on 2 ships. Okay. But now it's GG.
Yeah, GG. Good game. A little bit similar to the first game where we saw NC definitely give some good blows to the other team and give them a good run for their money's worth. At one point, I thought NC might have taken this game when they were trebbing down those 3 castles of Nikov. Certainly, they could have gotten into the middle a little bit earlier, but and Fiage coming pretty much out of this game as well. But great play from the Gaucho team, showing us why they're the #1 seed in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the main mistake here was NC, first of all, not adding enough fish after they saw that no early attack is coming on. Then the defenses of Andorin and Pedro were okay, I think, not going downwards too early. But I think the main thing was really not walling in the center. Just think about it. If they had the stone walls and had all their 5-6 traps working for themselves, they could have gotten all the stables, all the castles, and just sit behind walls with your condos and monks. I think they could have had the middle island so easily.
Oh, absolutely. I think that, again, if they had some walls there, maybe had a few more trebuchets, maybe 2 or 3 more, and somehow were able to attack Mate as well, who was making elephants and holding behind his castle, that could have been a game changer right there. And yeah, NC definitely had the chances to take probably both these games.
Feels bad, man. If only there were other NC players who have helped them out. So, lovely series for sure. And, well, let's take a look at the stats.
You can go ahead. I already came out of the lobby.
Okay. And then I will just show it for the VODs. And, well, I think I will do some gaming or something, and we will hear each other in 22 minutes, right?
Yeah, next game starting in 22 minutes. It's been a pleasure. I'll hear from you in 20 minutes.
Indeed, that will be ARC against NHN.
Yes, it will be. All right, so we've got 20 minutes until the next game. I'm going to take a small break. You have the timer up there. Millie's going to play some games. I'm going to go take a water break and I don't know, think of any ideas for us to be able to kill 20 minutes, and otherwise, that'll be starting shortly. So I'm going to update the overlays. I'm not so well versed with OBS, so don't mind me as I change some of these things on screen. All right, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Alright. And I am back. Alright, so players are arriving. Game won't start for another at least 8 minutes. If you were just joining us, we did have the first series. The series was pretty excellent, actually, between NC and Gaucho. Number 1, number 8 seed. These seeds are a little closer together. This is Rise of Rome and VN. What VN stands for. Both these civilizations, both these clans have been around for extremely long periods of time. Very well known. And yeah, it's best of 3. They have their civilizations right there. Turks, Byzantines, Slavs, Magyars for Rise of Rome. And for VN, Chinese, Japanese, Mongols, Koreans. And it was so hard to evaluate 4 civilizations against another 4 civilizations. Better unique units for the Asian civilizations, in my opinion. Have some interesting strategies, certainly, with the Rise of Rome civilizations. I see less unique strategies from the VN. Who will play in this matchup? Those 2 teams. Most of these players are pretty well known within the Age of Empires clans in their communities. Twig and Mellow are certainly very, and Dark Knight as well, very good players that I know personally. Not personally, but I know of them. And Angelina Jolie, I definitely know of him from Rise of Rome. That'll be starting in a few minutes. I'll be joined by Nilly once again, who is casting on his own channel as well. Should shape up to be another excellent series. Play one of my favorite covers for Age of Empires. Oh my bad, I think I have the wrong set of games that's going on. Let me check. 1730. Oh, it's 16 games. They're not. Oh, they're not in order on the website. That's why. My bad. Let me redo that. Okay, so those are the proper civilizations. So the one I just had up, we'll see after this particular game. This is ARG versus NHN. Okay, so for the ARG team, Axie, Stefan, I'm pretty familiar with them. Not so sure on the other ones. ARG's been around for a long time as well. NHN, I'm not exactly sure on their clan. Durabel's a very good player. I don't know any of the other players, to be quite honest. Huns, Teutons, Goths, Vikings. Interesting. A lot of civilizations we don't see too often in that group, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good civilizations. I wish we saw them a little more, especially Goths and Teutons. Persians, Berbers, Indians, Saracen. So Indians and Berbers we see a lot, of Persians and Saracens we don't see a lot. I like seeing all these other civilizations though. It's pretty nice. Alright, so right now we're in the Voobly lobby, waiting for the players to ready up. 11:06 right now, at least in local time, 16 GMT. And they are, of course, required to start by 20 minutes after. They should be starting relatively shortly. All right, so they should have started, honestly, 10 minutes ago, but they are starting right now, actually. So spectators are in the game. Game will launch once they actually begin. And they're actually doing a 3-on-3 right now, so you can do that if you're down a player and the other team agrees. I'm not exactly sure. Are they down a player? I can't exactly tell. Spanish. Spanish. So the game should be starting in a few minutes anyway. And hopefully we'll have Nilly here again. Cast with us. This is going to be ARG versus NHN. It's a 3-on-3. The 6 players that we have playing here are going to be Higurashi, Letukan, and Tia Harabel for NHN. We have Aramis ARG, Maxi ARG, and Atake, the Argentina team. Some of these names I'm familiar with, some of them I am not familiar with. I'm very familiar with the ARG team, that they've been around for a long time, playing a lot of clan battles. And the different civilizations they have for ARG: Huns, Teutons, Goths, Vikings, NHN, Persians, Berbers, Indians, Saracens. Very interesting civilizations. I like the Vikings, honestly, in the ARG team. Huns are always good. I think that NHN have a very good potential against like counter cavalry civilizations. Obviously, they have the Saracens there, the Berbers, the Indians, all of which counter cavalry pretty well. They'll get camels, of course. So civilization like the Teutons not going to probably shine in this matchup. Goths are interesting, though. All those civilizations do get gunpowder. But not particularly unique in it that I think counters the Goths. I'm pretty glad, though, to see these different civilizations. Normally in team games, you don't see as many of these civilizations. So I assume since it's 3 versus 3, I guess they pick which civilization they would. And possibly use all 4 in a 3 versus 3. So out of these civilizations, the best ones to pick would be so Indians, Berbers, that's obvious. I'll go Indians, Berbers, Persians. And then for the other team, Huns and Vikings are obvious. And I'd go Goths because the Teutons would be countered by all the camels out on the field. Goths are pretty interesting, though. And hopefully we'll see some different map pools. So we saw for the last series, we did see Tsunami. That was very interesting. A lot of these I don't know too much about. Border Dispute is a lot of fun, of course. Double Migration sounds fun. Golden Hill we've seen many times before. Meatballs we've seen before. At least I have. Rooster. Sand Maze I've probably seen it. And Slippery Springs as well. Some of these I have not, though. Tentacle Island. Tentacle Isle. Soul. And Sealed Islands. Definitely have not seen those. Microphone I may have done a community game on it. Actually a pretty fun map. And we're getting close to that 20-minute mark. I do wonder what the hang-up is with these particular teams. Okay, they actually started the game exactly at the last possible second, so it'll be 1 minute before we're in the game. And it'll be ARG versus NHN.
That I am unmuted. Nobody.
Just 1 second too late.
No, I always was unmuted. And then I said like, oh, I'm really impressed how well you use your push to talk key.
Yep. This time I remembered. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. If you like, you could give introduction too. Up to you.
No.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to this is going to be the second matchup in the Continental War 2 tournament hosted by Mundo AoE, administrated by Forever, and donation from that guy. And this is going to be a 3-on-3, so you're able to go down from a 4 versus 4 to a 3 versus 3 if a player is unavailable and both teams consent. So that's what they have done. I'm not exactly sure what they have done as far as civilizations, but let me introduce the NHN team, and then Nili can introduce the ARC team. So on the bottom left corner, we have in red Higurashi playing as the Persians. In the pocket position, we have Letukan playing as the Indians. And in purple, we have Tia Haribel playing as the Saracens.
And he's facing in teal, the Teuton player Rambus. Their pocket will be Mr. Maxi playing the Huns. And in the south, we have Tata K, the Goth.
All right, so which two teams would you prefer as far as players, and which two sets of civilizations would you prefer?
Both in favor of NHN here. I feel they have pretty strong players working for themselves, and civilizations are just so much better. I think Saracens and Persians can do okay on the flanks, way better than Teutons and Goth can. And obviously, the pocket isn't even close. Indians against Huns, this will be really tricky for ARC.
I agree that I definitely would go with the civilization picks from NHN or the civilizations they were assigned. I do know the ARG team a little bit better than the NHN team. I know Tia Haribel. Certainly he's a very good player. But I know the ARG team has been around at least a little bit longer, or has a little bit more, brings up some more memories, at least in my mind, as far as clan tournaments go.
Yeah, they have been around for endless amount of times. I think there should be a clan active for at least 15 years of this game. So most of the great ARC players have been there at some point, and Yeah, let's see. Seems like not the greatest positioning for Ark, especially that they know that NHN is having Indian's pocket.
Do you know how so they went with the 3 versus 3. Do they get to choose their 3 civilizations that they play for this game?
I think so, but I'm surprised that we don't see Berbers here, right?
Yeah, I'm very surprised at that as well, choosing the Saracens over the Berbers. But not surprisingly, I think we're going to have a restart here. Look at Aramis's map. It's absolutely horrid.
Yeah, like not the greatest wood lines, teal, super open, open gold. Berries in the front, really ugly spot here for Aramis. And well, Blue's map was very open as well.
Yeah, so one restart. I guess they'll have to choose the same civilizations. Yeah, very curious as to why they didn't choose Berbers.
I don't get that either. Like, maybe there was from the rules, but I would be surprised.
I mean, are Saracens a better flank team than the Berbers? Because the Berbers are a better pocket, definitely. And now that we've gone from 4 versus 4 to 3 versus 3, there'll be an extra, there'll be 2 flanks as opposed to one pocket now. So maybe that was a consideration.
Yeah, but still, it is Camel Archers. The pocket is incredibly good. And Saracens, they have okay archers at the side, can transition quite nicely into Arbalest, can abuse the market quite nicely. But yeah.
And as well, do you
The
agree with
Berbers feel so
Tudens over Goths?
I think I would have went for Vikings over Goth as well. Vikings are so much better, in my opinion, than Goth.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the strongest 2 civilizations in their pool were Vikings and Huns.